How are you doing today? My name is Roz, here with Crest City. Today we're going to talk about the closing loop. So there's 4 to 5 main things that you really want to focus on when it comes to the closing loop. Number 1 is going to be the close. So yes, you have to ask for the business from the customer. Once you do that, right, that's going to make the impulse go down, and it's going to cause the customer to give you a negative or an objection. Now that negative or objection can stem from anything like, hey, I need to talk to my wife, or hey, I need to talk to my business partner, or hey, I've had AT&T back in the past and these are the issues that I've dealt with. And so it's important, right, to sit there and listen to the customer with their objection or their complaint, because they're going to tell you exactly how to close them. Now, once you hear this objection from the customer, you identify with that objection with verbiage or words like, hey, I completely understand. We like to use what's called the 3 F's here, which is feel, felt, found, right? Hey, I completely understand how you feel. My other customers felt the exact same way, but what they found out was X, Y, and Z. So for example, right, if you closing and asking for the business from a customer, they give you the objection of, hey, I have to talk to my wife, then you say, hey, I completely understand how you feel. My other customer today felt the exact same way. They have to talk to their spouse, but what they found out was today nothing changes for you, which will, of course, go into the 4-point close, but we're not going to talk about today. After you get into the objection and complaint, you overturn that objection and that complaint. So sticking on the basis of I have to talk to my wife, you would overcome that negative with something similar to this. Hey, I completely understand how you feel. My other customer earlier today felt the exact same way, but what they found out was that today nothing changes for you. What we're going to do today is just set you up and reserve this price for you. And what we're also going to do, and quick question for you, is your wife a saver or a spender? That question, of course, is going to poise them to answer that. And we can say, hey, at the end of the day, right, my wife is a spender or my wife is a saver. And you can say perfect, which brings me to my next point, which is going to be adding a bullet to the closing loop. You have to add something. You have to build that impulse back up, because once again, when you ask for the business, that customer's impulse is going to go down. They're going to realize, oh my goodness, we're doing this today? I didn't know, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to add something extra for them. Add, a additional gift card, add, additional promotions or port in credits to get their impulse to drive back up, to get them back into the deal or get their wanting to buy back on track to where we need it to go. From there, once we add that bullet, right, we give an extra promotion, we give a gift card, or we give something else that we're able to offer the customer. Once again, we have a plethora of great promotions that we're here to offer all of our customers. Then you want to reclose the customer, which is just asking for the business, right? Asking for that tax ID, asking for an ID, or any other of the information that we need to close and finish out that deal. Leaving you off with these last 4 points here, keep in mind, right, that every app is a no. So if it's a customer that you're talking to with one business error or one cell phone, right, remember, we don't want to sit and spend a lot of time with that customer, not 25, 30 minutes, that's way too much. What we want to do is we want to really focus in on just saying, hey, look, no problem, putting in one closing loop and we'll go from there. Now, a customer that's 5, 6, 7 apps or 5, 6, 7 devices or internet here and internet there, we want to spend more time answering questions, putting that customer in a closing loop, because once again, it's a bigger order. They're going to have more questions and more concerns or problems that they may have, right? So that's going to be number 1. Every app is a no. So for one app, you just give one closing loop. For 5 apps, you give 5 closing loops. Very simple. Second bullet point is going to be don't give up so easily, right? Remember, right? People don't like to be sold to, but they like to buy. Sometimes these customers, they need to understand that this is better for them. We're giving them a better promotion, newer phones, cheaper price, right? And so they have to, we have to do some kind of coercion or some kind of pulse, right? to drive them to make that decision with us today. Third point is going to be use one of the systems to overcome the objection. So for example, I talked earlier about the 3 F's, or the feel, felt, found. That is a system that we use here to ensure that we can smoothly go through the closing loop to get what we need out of the customer. And lastly is going to be keep your bullets for the end. The last thing that you want to do is give them every promotion, every gift card, every single bell and whistle that you have, because when they tell you no, you have no bullets to add to that conversation to drive their impulse back up. So I hope this helped. Keep on continuing to watch these videos. They're very helpful, and I appreciate you for your time tonight. Thank you.